Welcome back, kids. Today I'm installing my easy button, and this thing is going to be so handy. Uh, you could see it in the previous video, but I didn't mention it until the end, when I showed Punk operating it a little bit. But I uninstalled it and reinstalled it for this video. So if I can do it, a caveman can do it. And if a caveman can do it, you can do it. Wait, that wasn't politically correct. Dang it. Sorry, cavemen. All you cavemen out there, I apologize. All right, let's get to it. Get this thing installed. So here are the tools you'll need to install the easy button. A 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, 4 millimeter, and a very small flathead screwdriver. And this, what I'm using is just out of this eyeglass repair kit thing you can buy for 99 cents just about anywhere, but it's perfectly sized for those screws inside the Masso unit. I've already taken the screws out of the Masso. I've got them laid over here. And first thing we're going to have to do is, in my case, I need to move this wire from coming out up here. It needs to come out down below. So, because I'm going to mount mine right here on the side, on this right side. So let's go ahead and get this taken apart. We'll do that first. All right, just going to use the 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, flip this thing over, and take these 4 screws out that are on the back. You may be able to avoid this step. Just depends on if you mount yours. Well, it just depends on where you mount yours on your Masso. I tested mine in several different places, and I originally wanted to mount it on the left side of the door, and went through all the trouble to screw it in and had it mounted. And then I realized, well, when it's over there on the hinge side, you can't open the door without taking this off. So that wasn't going to work. So I moved it back over here to the right. And I was afraid, the reason I wanted it on the left, I was afraid that it was going to be more apt to be hit by the spindle when it's homing up here. And I suppose it is, but I haven't had that happen yet. I don't know if I'm just more aware of it since I have this, and I know I've got to be more careful. I don't know, but yes, it can hit if you mount this on the right side of your Masso. But mounting it down towards the bottom of the Masso instead of up on the upper half, I think will make it less likely to be a problem. Regardless, that's what I'm doing, and so here, let's get this done. All right, so it came off in this orientation, and you've got a couple slots down here underneath here where this wire will feed through. Mine was like this, so I can either move this wire down here and run it out this other slot, or I think I can just turn this around, which is what I'm going to do instead of moving all those wires around. So let's just see if that works. Just barely snugging these down until I make sure that this is going to work the way I want it to. All right, close the door on Masso. Yes, it's going to go right here. It's going to be right in here. And the reason I said you have options, you can either mount it on the upper half of the Masso, which would be these 2 screws, or down here on these 2. And I put mine here. The reason being because this leans back, this way. So naturally the top, if you put it up here, it's going to be a little bit closer to the spindle back here. So I put mine down at the bottom. It may not make that much difference in the end, but that's just the way I'm doing mine. All right, here's the easy button. When you're mounting the lower right side of the Masso like I'm doing, you'll use the middle of this group of three here. So let me just put this in there. Okay. Other screw. I have to move it just a little bit, get the holes lined up. All right. It is mounted on the Masso. Back it up here. All right, so I've got my easy button here. The wires come out the back and up through the bottom, up through here. You can see my finger through there. This is it. And I fed it up through here, and I've got a wire tie there, just loosely, to hold it to these existing wires. Then it just comes up here, and I've got it hanging over the front. We're going to install these according to the instructions provided by DashMade, Steve Dash, super good guy. We're going to install it on inputs 3, 4, 5. It could be on any of these green inputs. We could do it over here on the 7, 8, 9, but he said do not use the 9 if you want the LED lights to light up around the button. And I want mine to be flashy and shiny, so I'm going to put mine over here on 3, 4, 5. We're going to have a ground wire that goes here, and power will go here. So this will all start making sense as we go through the process. But basically, we're loosening these three, in my case, the 3, 4, 5, and this power button, the first one here is the one I'm going to use. It's already got something in it, but you can loosen that and slip the other one in there, which I've already did that before, so I know that works. And then you've got your ground wire that's going to go in here. So, all right, first things first, you'll notice here on these 3 wires, this is your ground wire. He's got it plainly marked. We will install it first, but I wanted to show you these before I actually start putting anything in the little input holes. Each one of these wires has a resistor on it, and all 3 of these will need to be wrapped together and put into one power. You know, they will go into this power input here. Like I said, I'm using this first one. You wrap those 3 resistors wires together and you'll put them in there. First thing we do is plug the ground wire over here. All right, so here's our ground wire. It's thick. So what I had to do, this little black wire you see here was originally in this first hole where this first screw is. Well, since this part is so large and thick, it didn't want to share a hole with this guy over here. And I think we can all relate to that. So anyway, we're going to, I moved this little black wire from the first pole to the second one. Now it is sharing with another one. No biggie, they get along just fine. Let's put this boy in here. All right. Steve told me it didn't matter which one of these go in which hole. So just whatever. I'm just going to do mine like this. Yours does not have to be the exact same. These are just inputs. So we're putting that one there. And we got this one. Put him right there. That's the number 4 spot. Here is the black one. Like I said, the colors are irrelevant. They just need to be put in a hole. That's what she said. Now, this is the kind of tricky part here. We've got everything, all of those done. We still have to put our power here, and those 3 resistors here. This is where you got to bend those together, twist the ends together. And I'm in a really awkward position trying to video this and do it, so just bear with me. Anyway, so they're stiff. Here we go again. But they can be twisted together. And I'm sure you don't want to do this too many times or you're going to break one of them. And this is the second time that I'm doing mine, because I uninstalled it for the video. But old Steve, he'd take care of me if I screwed this up. He's just good like that. All right, that looks so much better than it did the first time I did this. So now let me make sure I've got that right here loosened up. Yes. So we just take it, add needle nose pliers to the list of tools you'll need. I didn't mention that at the beginning. All right, sit there. All right, that looks good. So we've got 3, 4, 5 power, and we did the ground first, and we'll check, make sure all those are tight. I mean, I'm not cranking down on them, but just use common sense, snug them up. Okay, I think we are installed. All right, so here comes the moment of truth. I'm going to turn the power on, and hopefully I won't have to put the little distraction dance guy right here. I'm hoping there's no sparks, fires, or explosions. Power on in 3, 2, 1. Just kidding. Okay, so, yep, that's just the, error. Okay, yeah, because we still gotta do all the normal startup plus stuff. So let's do the emergency button. Then we're gonna home it, just so it'll shut up. Okay, now I'm going to move it out of the way. All right, now we got to go into the F1 screen and do the setup. So let's do that. So let's go into our F1 setup screen right here. And down here, you'll see your inputs, which is what we're looking for in this case. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. We're going to be working with those. All right, so in order to determine which button is on which input, all we have to do is push the button, and we'll see which one of them lights up. So input 3, if I push that top button, you can see it lighting up there. If I push the middle button, it's changing the input 5. It changes it to high whenever the button's pushed. So this bottom button should be input 4, and it is. So that's, now we know which button controls what. Let's go back to the top button, which in my case is input 3. I want this to be my parking location. So I just go down the list here, and there's go to parking position. Click that, select, and there it is. It's that simple. So let's set this button, which one was that? That's number 5. I want my number 5 button, middle button, to be home machine. So we'll select home machine and select. Now the bottom button, I really don't have a use for it yet, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to make it turn on the vacuum, the coolant flood. And you'll remember that's how I had it set up originally in the previous video when I was letting Pump play with those buttons there. So let's just do that. So we'll go to input 4, maybe, and coolant flood on. I mean, there's all kinds of options on here. A whole list of things. But most of them are not going to be relevant to, you know, just you or I with the, you know, woodworking, making signs or whatever we're doing on here. A lot of that stuff is like for plasma cutters, lasers, lathes, you know, things of that nature. Maybe even 4th or 5th axis, who knows. But for our purposes, though, most of us will just use these first dozen or so options. So we're going to turn coolant flood on, select, and now we have all 3 of these buttons assigned to a function. So let's move over here and test those. Over here so we can see. All right. Okay, so we're going to test the top button first, which is the parking button. So we push it, and like magic, there it goes. How cool is that? And the middle button is homing. So let's home the machine. That's so awesome. Of course, that's easy to do normally just by double tapping the homing button, but regardless, I like the functionality of it on this side button too. And then the third button is just the vacuum for now. So that's it. Simple as that. You've got your easy button installed, so it's not a difficult project at all. I highly recommend you try one of these. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something there and hope you enjoyed it too. I'm probably having too much fun with these green screen effects, but damn, I love that. So y'all just go ahead and bear with me. That's my thing. Anyway, hope y'all are not going to be afraid to try the easy button. Just got to be careful. Think about what you're doing. And honestly, the Masso is set up with those extra inputs for adding extra accessories to it. So, you know, they left those open for a reason. You know, you just got to use common sense when you're working with something like that. But if you are interested in trying this, just go to Etsy. I'll have a link down in the description below. DashMade Woodworking. Steve Dash, he's in Shirts, Texas. He's the same guy that made my tool setter. Super nice guy. I mean, just easy to work with. Y'all give him a shot. And also, in the link, or with the link, I will have a 10% discount code there for 10% off anything you want to order from him. And he has all kinds of stuff. So y'all give him a look and see if there's anything in there you might be interested in. So I think that's it. No, I do got to thank some people at the end of this video for super thanks and buying coffee and just supporting the channel in general. I appreciate that so much. That's a big deal to me. So thank y'all. And until the next video, y'all take care.